You're watching the Original Music Atlanta podcast.
All right, and we are live, the Original Music podcast that we're working on here. And today's guest, we have Thrum, and they are from the city of Atlanta, and we wanted to bring them on to learn a little bit. My name is Raymond Hems, and this is Rick Gathman, and we are here to learn a bit about Thrum.
Hola, fellas.
How you guys
Hey,
doing?
guys.
Hey.
So,
Good evening.
Who is the leader of this Jolly Roger troop of pirates here?
There is no leader.
The answer I was looking for.
I like it too. Well, I understand that Chris, the guitar player in the upper right corner, and David Prince, who were one of the founding members. So can you guys elaborate on what is Thrum? How'd you guys come up with the band name, and what's it all about?
The band name was actually Sean's idea.
Oh, okay.
But this when he came in with that, as far as everything else, there's the three of us. I originally got together with David because he was looking for doing something doomy, and I was just out of gyres looking to do more doom, but not as shoegazery, because gyres was very slow. Like we had like 20-minute songs, stuff like that. I was looking for more modern,
as you should,
70s music.
Yeah.
And then he turned me on to Sean, which is a godsend, because Sean and I click when I'm thinking about music and lyrics, and he comes up like one day we were jamming. This was after we were all together, and I just threw this riff out, which I thought was mediocre crap, and was gonna this was like the last time I'm gonna play it before I just trash it. And he sang this vocal to it, which made it good.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's how, so that kind of thing.
Well,
great.
Well, Sean, tell us what Thrum. What does it mean? How did you come up to it and bring it to the band?
Well, I've been planning this band for like 13 years, so I have everything in my notebook.
Wow.
And I just thought I wanted a name that meant something and nothing at the same time, right? Something that a low sound. I know I wanted something low. I wanted something deep, heavy, and that was kind of one of the names that we had. That was one of the names we had bantied around. We had a lot of time to work on that kind of stuff during the pandemic and after.
Yeah. Now, are you like, for me, I think of when naming bands, I think about syllables. Thrum, single syllable type of. It's Kiss. It's when you. I think it has a little bit more power when you have a name that is in that case, a single syllable. Was that a thought process or not?
Yeah, it definitely always is. The problem these days, right, is you can't get a name. You can't get a Facebook page. You can't get a .com. You can't get anything because somebody's already got it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, too, that we were just talking about the same thing. If it's available, you better grab it,
Yeah.
So what genre would you call that? I know David Prince has called it doom rock or
doom metal.
Metal. To me, it doesn't sound like when we used to play together, Glenn, and David would throw a riff out there. It was like, all right, doom doom ba doom, you know what I mean? Just like
heavy groove.
Actually, you guys actually sound a little more musical to me. It's got a little more melody. It's got, there's more parts going on. It's not just so straightforward, just simple. To me, don't take this as an insult. It's just not the music I listen to, but doom rock isn't my go-to music. But I'm an 80s hair guy, so who cares?
It's evolved.
But I listen to your music and I'm like, holy smokes, that's freaking badass. It's really good. So
thank you.
It's a lot of it has to do with our love of 70s arena rock.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
so there you go. So it's
Yeah.
it's an,
Yeah.
We have to call ourselves something. I mean,
Sure.
I'm in marketing, and I'll be the first to tell you, I'll box myself in. I'll shoehorn myself into something. What comes out, is going to be organic.
Yeah.
We're trying to write stuff, and the other side of it is too, we have yet to write our masterwork Doom tune, but we actually have a new song that if you heard it in contrast to the others, you would go, oh, okay, I see where you're going. How long is that song, Chris, Len?
It's 9 minutes.
Like 9 minutes.
As it
Yeah,
should
so-
be. As it should be. Hey, it's actually a blessing that we have. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I don't have a label telling me, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, that's all you got, in Giza, especially. Now, Hope Sanker's different, but in Giza, we've got 8-minute songs. It's
it's a 90-minute set and it's 2 songs.
essentially, it is 2 songs. But
It includes a bottled water and a cold lettuce wrap.
yes,
Yeah.
from what's the Asian restaurant with the big elephant out front?
P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's
I was
lettuce
gonna say,
wraps.
you're on your own, bro.
That's on my
Yeah.
that's on my rider. Kind of like
You get CE credits by listening to that song
Absolutely.
in Metal 101. That's what it is.
I like it.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna lump us into something, Dave or somebody, listen to like Old Sabbath, and that's sort of where our stuff is, because you've got Sean, and this is going out, or Dio, because Sean loves Rodney James Dio, and he can
Ronnie,
freaking
yeah.
Oh, he can
wail.
nail it.
Everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, when they hear Sean's voice. So I think Sean's voice is what sets us apart from other doom acts,
Well, that's-
especially in Atlanta, because you got a lot of people that are doing the Cookie Monster growls.
Yes.
And you got Sean who can actually sing.
Yes.
And he can hit the high notes. And then you've got, we're in drop B, so you've got the really doomy guitars.
Sure.
And then you've got Sean's vocals on top of it. And it's nobody knows where we're coming from.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I previewed the song, what I heard was a good Black Sabbath grinding, just rock,
But updated and more
but
polished.
updated with 80s-ish, a vocalist, an actual vocalist.
Yeah.
Sean, can you death growl? What do they call that? That squirt? What is that? What do they call that?
Well, that's just it. They break them up into a lot of things. Fry, different tones, false chords. I mean, everybody's talking about everything these days with that vocal style.
Yeah.
Throat singing. Yeah. I can do it, but it's really, really high.
Yeah.
Is it actually inhaling or are you exhaling when they do that?
Exhaling, as far as I know. I mean,
Okay.
some people can do in and out. I mean, I can sit here and go, go. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
But like a whistle tone, at the top of your head,
Yeah.
any of that stuff. I just, I've studied singing like that, and it's just isn't my bag.
Well, and that's another good point. And I had to learn this kind of the hard way. It's like, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Do what you do and do it great with the greatest guys you can put around you. And that will be your sound. I mean, I think that's the most important thing.
Well, take Rob Halford, and I
Yes.
say this all the time.
Yeah.
Rob Halford, you take the whole career, he has 3 different voices. He has the, painkiller high stuff that he can do all day long, which you're like, I forgot he could do that. Then he has the low growl,
Yeah.
in his voice, and his mid-range is all over. And the reason I'm telling you this is because there are bands that have made a career out of one of those voices.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob's got all 3.
Right. Now, what about
I mean-
Dickinson? Like, and now we're
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
For those that don't know, and if you're watching this and don't know who Rob Halford is,
We're sorry.
We're sorry. So that's Judas Priest. What about a guy like Dickinson? It's Dickinson, right? The pilot for
Mhm, His own
Bruce.
band. Yes.
Yeah, Bruce.
His own plant.
Yeah, he's got his own plane. That
A
guy can
little
sing.
band called Iron Maiden.
Oh,
or
those
you might-
guys.
you might have
Yeah.
heard of them.
Yeah.
They have
yeah.
3 guitars now, so they're actually Skinnered.
Yeah. Bruce is going to beat you up. He's going to sing longer than you.
Yeah.
He's going to sing louder than you. And his vibrato is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And he could sing quiet, he could sing low. And if you've ever listened to his songs, he's got the screams in there too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you personally that we opened a show for them when I was stage managing for a national, and we opened for Iron Maiden in California in the stadium. He's not going to kick you in the nuts. I
No.
promise you.
Nice guy.
You can't get near him.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
They
Well,
they
I was
did. I
gonna
mean, they're
say.
very friendly.
Yeah.
Group of fellows, but
Oh yeah.
Well, how about
They seem like a real people.
side
Yeah.
note, I don't know why this came up, but side note, I mean, any band that has their own brand of beer is winning, in my opinion. I mean, the Trooper.
they actually left a big tub of their beer in our dressing room with a nice note saying thank you for opening.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean,
Wow.
so gems of fellas.
And that's expensive beer too, man.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't drink
I was-
anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was in the dungeon in New Orleans and they had it, and I was like, I want to try it. And they're like, it's a $15 bottle of beer. And
Is
I'm
that
like,
right?
Is it strong? Is it ABV up there?
I don't remember. It
Yeah.
was a couple of years ago, and I mean it was fine, but I do like drinking the high test beers.
Yeah.
Like the eight
It's
to 10% is
Yeah.
my
EAH, I think.
ABV.
Expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's actually very, very accurate. Well, okay. Well, now we know what thrum means. It means nothing. It's single syllable, and it means rock. It means come on.
I mean, it's the low tones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's vibration. It's the low tones. That's really what I wanted to hear coming out of the guitars.
Yeah.
I've got 2 riff machines in this band.
Yeah.
I've got Chris.
Yeah, you do.
And I've got David.
Yeah.
And the riffs just keep coming. I don't worry about writing anything. I don't worry about humming anything. I bring lyrics. I show up.
Yeah.
And the hard thing is deciding which song we're going to.
Yeah, you guys have a good lineup. For
Yeah,
sure.
you do. And you know what, Sean, that you already said is, and I think anybody getting into this game that is a singer and does not have a notebook. Show us that notebook again, please. How old is that notebook?
Good heavens. So I was married for so
Yeah, that's a good
it's
way to
about
look at it.
13 years.
Okay,
12
so
years,
13 years, and it's just lyrical ideas and thoughts that came into your brain,
Yeah,
and
it's
you
just-
wrote them down.
Yeah.
A singer that does not have one of those to show up to a rehearsal or where anything might break out, you're not doing yourself a favor. You can't come up with this stuff on top of your head. Some people can. Obviously, I know some people that can. But your best opportunity for success is going to be, thumbing through your book. I believe Jim Morrison had a book like that, and you have to have your thoughts on paper when you hear a magnificent riff come across and you're like, whoa, that's this.
Well,
Especially
there
when-
are some vocalists like, Mike Patton. I heard a quote the other day, Mike Patton, Faith No More, and every other band, long list, ridiculously great singer. And he just said the singer's job is just to come up with some vocalizations that sound cool,
Yeah.
that go with the song. And I used to just bristle when I would write with people and they would just come up with nonsense stuff.
Yeah.
And then you ask the band, what does who is it? What does "Hats Off to the Bull" mean? Who is that? That's oh my heavens, why is my brain not working today? At any rate, and you find out it just doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So I think if you want to have something fun and you want to talk about something cool, I have to have something interesting.
Yeah.
What
do you typically write about? Like what is your Yeah.
Well, for this band, I think life, death, what's beyond it, doom. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all got it coming.
Yeah.
We all, the end of the road is there.
Oh,
And
I thought
think
you guys were a Christian band. No?
Hey, it is Christian to realize that you have a mortality.
Huh?
It's just what you do.
Well,
Okay. Fair enough.
yeah, I think, and I think the usual things that, I don't have any wizards and dragon songs or warriors, and I mean, I love that stuff and I love that music. I think that's more of a power metal type theme.
Yeah.
But I think themes that are well, I mean, if you just take Overdrive, the first song on the EP, chronologically there, that's about driving fast. That is about my love of driving a car too fast, breaking the law.
I like that.
And the fact that I love it.
Yeah.
And why do I love that so much?
Yeah.
And then the fact that I know I'm taking my life into my own hands. And so the chorus is, I'm not afraid to die.
Right.
Like, to me, you have to take some chances to live, right? We're all taking chances. We're all living. Every day is a chance, and you'll hear it in other lyrics. In Throwing Stoned, I say, this earth is not your home. I mean, and that's an old blues gospel cliche.
Right.
And all of my lyrics, unfortunately, for this album, I just think are a bunch of cliches thrown together.
Yeah.
But
I
have a good time.
You're alone there. I think a lot of bands are that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to realize that in 2023, where we're at, somebody was saying that we're a fan of the 70s heavy rock. Everything that we do, when I'm writing songs and riffs, I'm like, somebody has had to have played that before. Somebody has had to have
there's
sung
not
that
much
before.
that's original. Yeah.
So it's hard to. Who was saying earlier about finding a domain name? Everything's taken.
Yeah,
it's very much the same thing when you're writing songs to come up with something original, and that's kind of the magic, right?
Yeah.
So,
Chris, you do that all the time. How in the heck do you do that?
Yeah, Chris, how do you come up with original riffs? Let's go around the horn and talk about your position in the band. And Chris, is it Abamonte?
Yes.
Okay, Chris Abamonte is the guitar player, one of the guitar players in Thrum, and he likes orange amps, I think.
So does David Prince. David Prince is an avid
Yeah.
orange guitar amp guy.
So, Chris, what's your background? We like to do this. I like to do this. What was playing in your household when you were a kid that made you want to grab a guitar and make a lot of noise?
AC/DC.
Right.
Black Sabbath. See, you got to understand, I had an older brother and sister that's like 15 years older than me.
Yep.
It's a different way of us asking, how old are you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me do
So
it.
I grew up to what they were listening to. So that was old Alice Cooper group.
Yeah, man.
Black Sabbath, all that stuff. And so that's what I was turned on to. And when my sister went over to Germany with her husband when he was in the army, of course, when when metal was breaking, she kept sending me all, like Hellhammer and Destruction, Scorpions back when Scorpions were good.
Yep.
And that kind of stuff. So I was honed by my older siblings on good music.
Yeah. What about your parents? What were they listening to?
My parents actually, they like my mom's huge Neil Diamond fan, so I got to hear a lot.
My
of
dad
Neil
was
Diamond
too.
And the Beatles.
Yep.
And one of the first tapes that I snagged from her was actually Jesus Christ Superstar, the rock opera.
Yep.
And to this day, I love that. The music in it was great, man. The riffing in it was great. The singing was great, which is, again, brings me back to my love of great vocals. Like, I'm a big Uriah Heep fan.
Oh, yeah.
And which was why I was happy, this, like, hooking up with Sean, man. It's like he is the vocalist I've been looking for a long time to work with.
Yeah.
And it's like David's got a new riff that we're working on, and it's one of those good fist pounding riffs. And I was thinking, man, man, do this 3-part vocal when you come in, where you're going, you're raising and he just nails it. He knew exactly what I was talking about. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
that's
that's
the kind of thing I dig.
Yeah, just to feel the love coming from you guys for each other
Yeah.
is not. I haven't on any of the podcasts yet. I don't know that like I've heard guys that are so happy to be playing together. In any. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
you can
likes
tell
each
the
other.
gel for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
I wish David was on here because I've played with David and Glenn, and David, it's like you say, David's a riff, like he'll sit all day and just come up with riffs.
yeah.
Yeah, David's awesome.
And they just, most of them are, well, I'm not going to say most of them. I mean, that sucker can play.
Hey,
Bishop Lake.
Glenn, can you send David the link?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out with dinner with his son, but as soon as he'll let us know when he
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family time is more important than any of this stuff.
I'm glad that you pick up on that because I think at our first show, I was a little less of a front man and more of a old dude on stage with his friends.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we got back, everybody was like, dude, you gotta pick that thing up. You were too nice up there. I mean, you're talking about how you haven't done original music in 13 years and you're talking about how great it is. And I hate to bring up that awful word, but the 2020 thing, when you start to miss something, you don't take it for granted as much.
Right.
Yeah.
And, sometimes as a singer, you have to learn as you get older to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
let these guys do their thing.
Yeah.
Because
That's a great point.
it's just magic. I mean, getting and we're all friends.
Right.
Glenn I've played with, in 2 different bands. He's my friend. He is the guy for this project.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He is the person
Yeah.
for this project. That mixture of atoms
Yeah.
is what I need in this
I know
project.
what you're talking about.
Yep.
Well-
yeah, and that's how I feel about all these guys. I mean, I've always said that it's not the music you're making, it's who you're making the music with.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real.
And I've been in a band with Sean, I've been in a band with Dave. Dave's been in a band with Chris. The odd man out's Troy, truthfully, because he's the new guy.
Yeah.
Everybody else has worked together.
But he's a fantastic new guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
Well, it sounds like you guys have landed on something for sure.
Yeah.
Glenn, what was playing in your household growing up that made you want to play bass?
Gosh, it was all a good mix of things. My
I think
dad, I was into the 70s stuff. It was the Doors, it was Crosby, Stills, Nash, it was Led Zeppelin, all the cliche 70s, all the 70s stuff I listened to. But then
theme
when
to
it
Star
got
Wars.
Yeah, well, we're
Yeah,
gonna
and
get
Star
to,
Wars,
We're
yeah.
gonna get to that. Let's not go there yet.
And then when I discovered like Faith No More, it was like, oh
yeah.
crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was groundbreaking. When that record came out, it wasn't really my genre of stuff to listen to, but when it came on the radio back when we listened to actual what do they got terrestrial radio?
Yeah, terrestrial radio.
Yeah,
yes.
when we used to, back in the old days, we used to listen to that, and when that came on, it hit me like when 1984 came on from Van Halen,
Yep.
and certain songs I kind of remember where I was, and the Faith No More was very cinematic, like the outro with the piano, and it was so good. And that was also back when we had these things called music videos,
Yep.
right? That told another story. So, yeah, to continue with that. I'm sorry to take us on that jump.
Oh no, man, you're good.
Yeah.
I've been chasing that bass tone for 30 years, and I think I'm finally like right there, but it's still, Billy Gowd's bass tone. I've been able to see them live once, and because of all the BS in 2020, I missed out twice seeing them, because one tour they canceled because of COVID, and another tour they canceled because Mike Patton had some issues. So I missed seeing them twice, 2020 and 2021, I think.
Yeah.
So it Faith No More is my all-time favorite band. It's a really good toss-up between like them and the Police, because they're another insane bass player, insane
I didn't know
drummers.
that.
Dude, I freaking love the Police. I got to see him in 08, and I was just like, oh my God.
I didn't know those were your two favorite bands. I mean, but like that's like black and white.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then they're both kick ass. I love both those bands.
Yeah. And then there's another band called the Galactic Cowboys, and their bass player, Monty Colvin. I've met them a few times, and he was another, there was Monty Colvin and Billy Giles are my two influences. Monty is my stage show, and Billy is my tone. Right. Because Monty just puts on a hell of a stage show. He's 60 years old, and he's bouncing and jumping all over the stage. And I've seen them play 10 or 15 times. Yeah. So those are my influences, and then you can go back, Cream, and listening to their bass player, just insane bass player, stuff.
Ginger Baker.
Jack, oh my Bruce, God. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Jack Bruce, he was playing a fretless.
Probably.
He was doing a lot of that stuff with a fretless, which is
dude, he was, I think Sunshine on My Love, he wrote on an upright bass.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that got me into playing bass. Actually, the only reason I picked up a bass, not the only reason, but my dad looked at me, he goes, if you're going to play guitar, you got to get an acoustic, but you can have an electric bass. And I'm like, I'll play an electric bass. Why would I want an acoustic guitar? Yeah. At 15, 16 years old, all your friends are playing electric instruments.
That's actually
and you're
brilliant.
Like,
That's actually brilliant advice.
Explain that. I don't understand. What was the mindset behind that?
Everybody was playing guitar.
No, I mean,
no. My dad told me I could buy an acoustic guitar or an electric bass.
Right.
Oh, okay. I got you. I misunderstood. Yeah. I thought you had both.
No.
Probably because he didn't realize that when you turn up an electric bass, it rattles the rafters. When you turn up an electric guitar, it rattles your fillings.
Right. Well, my dad was a guitar player. So that's sort of another reason why I picked up.
Okay, music. So let's go to what was playing in your house. What was you obviously were listening to your dad play music in your house.
Yeah, it was a lot of Cream. It was a lot of Clapton. It was Crosby, Stills, Nash. That was my love of, 3-part harmonies. There again, it was Zeppelin, Door, just all the old school 70s stuff. We actually, he took me to see Crosby, Stills, Nash a couple of times. And
wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of, it molds you a little bit when you hear that old stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, that's
and then when I picked up Maiden, they were like, "Oh my God, that's satanic." The Number of the Beast. Oh my God.
That's why I didn't listen to Metallica when everybody first got into it, like in 1985 or whatever it was. I was like, it's kind of dark for me. I don't know. Yeah, I was a hairband guy.
Well, everybody, raise your hand if you ever put a record on the record player and tried to make it go backwards to hear what everybody was talking about. Yeah. I mean,
I was in AV, and there was stuff that there was a band, I think it was Mortification was a Christian band, and on their B-side they had a backwards message. So I was in video production, and I put it on a videotape and ran it backwards so I can hear it, because we could run it backwards.
There was a Christian band called Mortification.
Yes.
Wow. Did they?
And it was death metal, dude. My stepmom would not hate it when I listened to it, because she's like, this is not Christian. I'm like, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would just rattle her to her, huh?
Lyrically, it was, right? But the music was,
dark.
Yeah. And you know what? That's what I do in my other band is, it's not the traditional delivery, but we're all Christians and we rock it hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so, Glenn, since we're on you, your bass rig, what is your go-to equipment? How are you getting this tone now that you finally are starting to get there?
It deafens everybody, but as far as the bass, I've got a Dunable. It's a Dunable R2. They're out of California.
Is that a preamp?
I picked that up. Huh?
Is that a preamp? What is that?
No, that's my bass. The bass I use is a Dunable R2 is my main bass.
He just bought it because it's got R2 in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
R2.
It's a 4-string.
Okay.
I can't play 5 strings, dude. I barely play a 4-string. Why would I want 5?
Yeah, I hear you.
I play the top two strings,
I was
man.
gonna say
we
you
were in
really
band
only need
practice.
two, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I need the top two and the D, every now and again. But
Yeah.
um,
For the octave.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Our new song we're playing, I'm like, oh man, I'm using my low string, great, or my high string. This is awesome. And then I've got an Ampeg 410, Portaflex 410, and then a 115, and then I run that through a Dark Glass 500 head.
Okay. No preamp.
And then I've got the pedals. I've got you got the tuner, you got a compressor, then I've got a fuzz, a chorus, and then a noise gate is on my pedal board.
All right, so you're using individual pedals to feed the head at this point.
Right, and then you have the Dark Glass has a modular distortion on it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it runs through a Dark Glass. So it's a really, I like it. It's a unique tone.
Yeah.
A lot of people, the Dark Glass, dig, 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 and I try to turn it up a little bit more bassy. So it's more boom, 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 but it's not. I've got to compete with Dave and Chris because they're got the low end going. So I'm like, I can't go too low because, huh?
I was gonna say because they're ballsy too. It's like
exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got to kind of find a weird, unique bass tone, and I think it works really good with the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Chris, obviously you're using Orange. What kind of guitars? And what? Hey, by the way, what's the main tuning that you guys are operating in?
Drop C sharp, drop B.
Drop B?
It's C sharp standard with a drop B.
Okay. All right, so I'm tuning down.
All about that bass.
So it's like,
bass.
that's down there.
I've never seen that look on his face.
I had to think about that.
This guy owns 50 guitars
here's what
and
it
knows
is.
every
If you want to,
Yeah.
I can tell you at least on a bass player,
Yeah.
it's B, it's F sharp, it's B, and then it's E.
Okay.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
And then I have no clue what the other two strings are tuned to because I don't have those as my bass.
They're not.
But Rick, it's the same tuning we played at Bishop Lake. It's
Is
the
it?
same tuning as
Okay.
Bishop Lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which makes sense. And Chris, when you guys are doing this illogical frequency, you guys are tuned into like 340, not 440. When you do that,
220, 440, whatever it takes.
yeah,
whatever
right,
it takes,
220,
brother.
440. What is your string gauges? Because we're gonna nerd out here on guitar stuff because that's what we do.
Yeah, man. I use basically Ernie Ball. What is it? The orange pack where it's
Heavy bottom.
heavy top, slinky bottom.
Yeah.
Top heavy bottom. So
Yeah.
it's like a 50
Light top, heavy bottom.
to a 10.
Yeah, 52 to 10, I think it's.
Yeah, 52 to 10. And and I keep it pretty low. And amps right now, my main amp and David's as well is we like the sound of the OR50, though I also have an OR100, and I used to use Rocker 30s into a stereo high power cab. I used to use two Rocker 30s, one into each channel.
Yeah.
But really love. He got the OR50 first, and I was like, man, I just totally coveted David's amp. I was like, because it's got this dark tone.
Yeah.
I love. Plus, which is everything, the darkness. I like that.
So what
tone.
what he's talking about again for anybody that might be getting into this type of music or playing guitar or any of that, all of these are orange amps that you're talking about, correct?
Right.
I played with a guy. I went back to home and had a jam session, and this guy pulled out an amp that looked literally like a lunchbox, and it was called the Dark Terror.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is that a tube amp?" He's like, "No." Is it going to sound good? He's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And then he plugged it in and just melted my head with this amazing tone.
I've seen that.
That's awesome.
So I think a lot of people don't understand that orange can really, really growl.
Well, it's like a boutique amp, right? It's like a Mesa Boogie. It's like nothing but it's meant to play loud.
Yeah. And but wait, the Dark Terror. Do you know about it?
Oh yeah, I'm just not into the Dark Terror. Was more of their metal amp.
Oh, okay.
And I like more of the that 70s sound amp where it's kind of like
more tubey.
Yeah. Well, all my amps are valve amps, and I just like the grittiness. It's kind of like still use EL34s because I grew up playing Marshall, of course, like everybody does.
Right.
And you get used to that EL34 sound in your head.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love about the OR50. It's got EL34s in it, so it's got that martially tone, but it's grittier.
Yeah.
And the OR50 can go dark. It's got what I call the fist knob.
Yeah.
And it's some kind of, it's not an attenuator, but it's like kind of like a low high pass filter type of thing.
Yeah.
So I keep it more in the black, and it gives it a little darker tone. And then which works with I use like primarily Iommi signature pickups in my guitars, which pushes heavy mids.
Who makes that?
Gibson.
Oh wow.
Then again, I also use some of the John. I have one SG that's got John Birch pickups in it, which are of course the Iommi pickups, and they're pushing mids.
Yeah.
Basically, I like to push mids.
Hey, I mean, we're really gonna nerd out here, but what are your ohm ratings on your bridge and neck pickups?
Jeez, old Pete.
That I couldn't tell you.
Hey, we got somebody trying to come in. Somebody's
Yeah,
coming
it's
in.
going to be
Dave's
David.
getting ready to join.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's let him in.
Good. Then I can ask the question I was going to ask before Ray's like, let's nerd out.
Well, I mean, don't you think that it's, I mean, for guitar players that might be watching, don't you think that they would want to know
Turn it vertical.
What's up, Dave?
yeah, horizontal. If you can go 16:9, that'd be great.
You're still sideways, homeboy.
Dave, turn your phone around.
You're going to have to do vertical.
What to
man.
do?
Put some pants on,
There
bro.
you go.
Dave, put some pants on.
Put it away, will you? What are you doing?
Hey, I'm give me
Dude,
crap.
just looks like a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
He
just
sure
showed
does,
up.
doesn't he?
Holy cow.
Unfortunately, but he's one of the sweetest men on the men on the planet.
Yeah, I would want to be his friend. Dave, right?
Yeah, that's right.
David Prince.
If you can turn your phone landscape, I guess, in the printer world, thank
Like
you.
that?
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are the man.
Oh.
So, Dave, just to catch you up, we are asking Chris some really nerdy guitar questions about string gauges, amps that he's using, and stuff like that. And he's just getting ready to tell us what's on the floor for pedals.
Where I love hearing this stuff.
On the floor, I've got I'm a volume pedal guy. I like a volume pedal to start with.
Yep.
Go to a one of those Peterson Strobo stomps.
Oh wow, you
Which
really want to
then
be in tune, huh?
Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite tuner. Then I just go into like the usual stuff. I got what is it? The pitch shifter type of not octaver.
The
Got an
Pog?
octaver.
Are you using the
Which goes
Pog or
to,
the?
the one. It's just a switch, no knob. David turned me on to it. I forget the name of it, but
Wow.
it's by Earthquaker.
Okay,
Oh, it's on the
I call it the testicle, but it's called the tentacle.
right.
the tentacle.
Yeah. And then I use that when I use the fuzz. I use my Fortin fuzz, so it gets that really raunchy sound. But
Right.
most of the time, my overdrive is done by a B-Tronics overhive, and then from there I just go into a micro flanger if I use that, and then out through a Fortin Zool for noise gating.
Right.
Very simple.
So
All the tone comes from the OR50.
if you're using a flanger or any kind of modulation device there, are you going through is there an effects loop on those orange amps that you're talking about?
No, there isn't. There is one other, my favorite modulation device, which is a Univibe, and
Oh yeah.
my full tone Univibe, which I'll throw on there from time to time, and I also, of course, wah wah. I've got one of those Takeo Bra parachute wahs, and because I'm a big Iommi head, and so I got that.
Yeah.
Which I need to break that out, but it's just it's made out of steel, weighs about 1 billion pounds, and is twice the size of like a Crybaby, so
Yeah.
it's hard to mount that on anything.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Do you find that it would have been nice if I mean, I grew up in an era where the Boss pedal was the standard
Yeah.
size, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, and then they started making these weird sizes, and you had to plug them into 120. You couldn't have a a daisy chain of power. Uh, did you find that when they started going gourmet on the pedals, that it's harder to deal
found
with?
a workaround for those. Like when they started coming out with those mini pedals, which is like a little. I use the back plate from a Boss pedal because I found where you can order those from Boss Japan. Now you can get them on eBay, but I used to have to get them from Boss Japan and get the metal back plate. This is the plate with no rubber on it. Then I put the Velcro on it and stick that on there, and then stick it to the pedal board, and that gave it more. It didn't. It kept it from rocking.
Yeah, a footprint. It gave it a footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. And you're doing all this. Did I hear you say SG? What do you typically?
Yeah, I primarily play SGs. I've got 9 of them.
Hey, you're not going to get any hate here. I got 60 guitars.
Sounds like David.
Yeah, I got 9 of those, 3 Flying V's, 1 Dunimal, which I don't ever play because I'm afraid to take it out because it's worth so much money because it's one of those special stash one-offs that made out of exotic wood. It's ungodly looking.
Yeah.
And
Can
that's pretty much,
we see it?
Yeah, I'll either be playing a V or an SG.
Yeah, is that guitar that's a one of a kind? Is that available to see?
Can we see it?
You can see it on my Instagram page.
Okay.
But right now it's in the case in a closet. I actually need to sell it. So if anybody's looking for,
well, then you might want to go grab it.
Yeah, you might want to go grab that. You might want to go grab that. And,
hey, let me ask you guys real quick, since David's on now. So are you guys still, is it the same dynamic as when Bishop Blake when we were playing together, where you guys kind of take turns doing solos, or is there do you have a lead guitar player or a rhythm guitar player, or is it you both are just solo badasses? Because I know you both are.
Yeah, anybody answer that?
Well, like I would say that most of the time I'm playing most of the solos, but I've kind of made Chris do some solos because he's got some more. He's more like the bluesy guy in the band, kind of like how KK Downing and Glenn Tipton were. Kind of, I guess, one guy was more shreddy, one guy was more bluesy.
Right.
And I do the more widdly stuff while he does the more soulful kind of stuff. And I thought he was good at it. And I'm like, dude, you need to do some solos. And he's actually got a couple solos on the EP.
Nice.
Where I majority the solos. He's not on. I'm always doing the main solos at least, the extended ones.
That's good. So it's kind of I know you guys aren't probably Queensryche fans like I am, but it's kind of a Chris DeGarmo,
Mike Wilton.
Yeah, Michael Wilton.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal.
Who isn't a Queensryche fan here?
Okay, just making sure.
If you go to my Facebook page, you can see my picture with me and Jeff.
I know one Queensryche song. Sorry, guys.
You're gay.
Oh.
Hey, Sean.
Silent next to you.
This question's for Sean.
Yes.
Didn't we do a 10 High tribute together and do a Skid Row song? Didn't we do 18 in Life together?
Yes, we did.
Did
yes,
we not
and we
blow
got up
doors?
and did the big. Yeah, that was a lot of fun with Chet.
Yeah,
Chet
my
Powell.
God, that was such a good night.
Kevin Thompson on bass.
Yes.
I think, and who was in my band at the time. Yeah, that was a pile of fun.
That was a pile of fun.
Curtis does it right. He
sure
gets
does.
the right people in the house,
Yeah.
and it's such a good time.
Yeah.
We just did I just did a
tributes.
show with Curtis, and he's got a newfound, like I've not seen a
I saw
fire,
that.
and I haven't seen a fire under him like I see
he's
right
lit
now.
Up. He's lit up right now for sure.
David.
Yeah.
Back to you on the guitar amps. You're using orange amps. Wait a second, real quick, Chris. Your guitars. Are you using the Gibson scale, or are you using longer scale to handle that low drop tuning?
It's all pretty much that standard Gibson scale.
Okay. Do you have a problem with your G string?
No, I've never had where it goes.
We didn't know it was going to be a personal question.
Yeah,
He only has trouble when dollars get put in
our
it.
publicist said there wouldn't be any personal questions.
I never had a problem with that where it goes out of tune and where you have to buy that little weird string tree thing.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I just saw that thing. That thing's new.
Yeah, I thought about getting one, but then I never had a problem with one. But then again, I think my bonus to that, and David hates it because he scolds me all the time, is I'm a dead string lover.
Oh,
like
no.
I don't change my strings
Oh,
unless
no.
they break. I
Why
love
don't you just
the
play round
tone.
rounds?
Yeah,
I
round
love
round.
the tone of dead strings, man. And like when I was in Gyres, I had that I played that Les Paul primarily. I got it brand new from Gibson in 2012. Never changed the strings. Did it all our gigs, all our recordings, everything.
The
Never changed
darker, the
the string.
better.
They
huh?
still pinched harmonic and everything. But they were just that
Yeah.
beautiful sound of death
Yeah. Well,
coming from the
so
strings.
Hippies bathe before Chris changes his string.
yeah,
Okay, I'm just saying.
And Dave's like, everybody change your strings. I'm like, no.
yeah. So basically,
It isn't broken yet.
yeah, basically, Chris, you like to get if you have to. I mean, if you have to put a new set of strings on, you need at least 12 chicken wings. Eat them with no napkin, and then play your guitar before you're happy.
Yeah, I'll stretch the hell out of them if I do that. You know,
Yeah.
like pick it up and you do the thing where you stretch the crap out of them.
Yeah.
So no
I
joke.
read an
just to-
article where Eddie Van Halen used to boil his strings.
Well, that was
well,
after,
that's to
yeah.
clean them,
Yeah,
right?
it's clean them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that.
stupid drummer question. Why don't you use round strings? Because I do know what they sound like,
Yeah.
at least on a bass. Like, why don't you? They make round strings for guitars?
Yeah, they do.
And they're heavy.
I don't know. I just like.
They're just
I
dead
don't know.
sounding strings, right?
Well, they're
I'm
smooth.
I'm an Ernie Ball guy, and I'm just used to what I've been playing forever.
Yeah. All right.
You like old rusty Ernie Ball
I
strings.
didn't say they were rusty.
Yeah,
They
They're
were old.
just
I've-
this far away
I've
from
got a
you.
very light touch, and I wipe down my strings so I don't get rust.
Well, that's an important thing you just said.
They're full of fast fret.
No, so you just said something about having a light touch.
Yeah.
So is that right hand? Is that left hand?
It's
Again, another personal
I have a
question.
light touch with my left hand fretting.
Right.
I do a lot more, and my right hand,
Sean.
where I used to be that beater guy that slammed down on the bridge.
Right.
I learned more finesse on palm muting. I now have a better palm mute.
Yeah.
And I
Be
also
good, Glenn.
changed, I relieved the break angle by lowering the bridge down and the stop tail, raising the stop tail a little bit, combination of the two.
Yep.
So you don't have the super sharp break angle over
Right.
that two-matic bridge
Sure.
that snaps strings.
And then
So you beat it to help the break angle? Is
No.
that what I'm
That's
hearing?
right. Beat it. to
Damn,
help
it
the
just
break
keeps on
angle.
going.
No, this is actually
Yeah.
it is funny sounding for you newbies that aren't guitar virtuosity lovers.
Virtuosos?
Yeah, the virtuosos. But what he's saying is that he's adjusted the height of the bridge and then the height of the tailpiece that creates the fulcrum. He's lowered the fulcrum point so that it's less aggressive. Now
a lot of people they'll do it the easier way, which is just to wrap it over the stop tail.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of people
Yeah.
do that. That's basically what you're doing is you're relieving the break angle when you do that. And a lot of people like that better. I don't like the way it looks when
Yeah.
it's over the stop bar, so I just adjust the stop bar,
Yeah.
which is why Gibson made it adjustable.
Yeah, so it's a look thing there, but what the reason I was asking that is because I play in some lower tunings as well, and I found that I'm a pretty intense left hand chord gripper, and if you're an intense chord gripper with the left hand with spongy strings, no matter what the gauge is, you're going to always be out of tune. You're going to always be out of tune. And this stuff doesn't sound good. No music sounds good if I'm a quarter step sharper than the rest of the band, right? So, Chris, thank you for the detailed information about your G string. David.
Hold on. What? I gotta hear about Troy because I'm not familiar with Troy Wolf.
Okay.
Do any of you guys have any information as far as
He's a man of mystery.
who's he played with? It may have has he played around town? What other bands?
They're kind of more like alternative rock in the past. I'm not familiar with any of them. And I don't think he's ever played with a metal band like us. I think this is his first try at doing it, and he's right. He's awesome. He's the perfect fit for us because we were trying to get that 70s type vibe.
Yeah.
And he is the 70s. This guy is a walking encyclopedia of music. His favorite band is Pink Floyd.
Okay.
he loves Pink Floyd, but he loves everything throwback. He's from the 70s. He's like when music was at its prime, you know.
Yeah. So
And
what is he my age? Is that what you're saying? Like he's in his 50s?
No.
No?
no,
He's in his,
It's just a
he's like
musical preference.
he's
a
in his
little
late
older
40s.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-40s. But he's definitely from the 70s. His mindset is in there, and that's what I like about him because he likes all those kind of throwback bands, and he buys a lot of vinyl.
Does he?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's
and he's a DJ.
Awesome Vista Light
Oh,
kit.
is he really?
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, tell him about the kit.
Yeah,
that was my next
Say that
question.
again?
You knew where I was going.
It's the old school Ludwig 4 on the floor, blue plastic.
Oh, he's got a
John
Vista Light
bottom.
kit.
Yeah, Vista Lights.
One up, two down, big ass kick drum.
Yeah.
Nice fat
original
snare.
hardware too.
Yeah, original
No kidding.
stands and everything.
Oh.
Yeah, all original.
So when are you guys going to play live, or have you played live yet?
Yeah.
Dude, we've played more live shows. I've played more live shows in this band than we did in Bishop Lake in the last couple of years.
I
man.
believe
Shots
that.
fired. Shots fired.
I say it with love, Rick. You know that.
I know you do, brother. So where have you played? And where can I come see you? I want to come see you guys.
Where is our next show?
Our next show is going to be at the Alley Cat on March 31st, playing with Ember, Dayglow Morning. And that's going to be at 10 p.m. at 120 Noonan Street, Carrollton, Georgia.
Nice.
3017.
All right.
I like this guy.
Send
He's
a
got all the
self-addressed
details.
Yeah.
Stamped envelope.
He's got all the details. So have you guys...
We've had 3 shows. We played Sweetwater.
Yeah.
And we've got to play everywhere that we wanted to play that was on our punch list so far.
Yeah.
Masquerade.
Cool. Yeah.
With Sid.
Sid
Thank
Howell.
you, Sid.
Yeah.
And then we played this past week at Sabbath Brewing.
Yep.
And we have played with all of our friends, Dayglow Morning, Stone Man, Ember. I'm leaving somebody out. Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah, it's a Sawzall Doll and Hot Ram.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best band name. I saw that on a flyer. Sawzall Doll.
Yeah,
that's a great band.
Sponsored by Milwaukee Tools. So that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Have you guys landed into a group of bands that really play well together, that have the same kind of forward motion view
circuit that you're in, that you're going, like go-to clubs that are,
Yes, we are so fortunate. All of these bands, Order the Owl, Big Oaf, a lot of these bands that are out here, they're great.
Bog Monkey.
Bog Monkey.
Bog Monkey. That's a good name.
Yeah. And they've just been fantastic as far as our fans and their fans. We're going to get along. They're just all great bands. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they're, writing original material, and we're all out there playing together.
Yeah, we'd like to have some of these guys on if you guys, enjoyed these conversations.
Sure.
Definitely shoot them our way. But I still haven't heard about David's guitar rig.
Oh, I can tell you all about it real quick.
David, no.
I know it's orange.
Oh, it is an orange. David, tell us about what you're playing
and I know it's an SG, and I know it's probably white.
Is it white?
I still have that guitar. I still use it as actually.
You
on the
had two,
record.
didn't you?
Yeah, I had 2 of them. I'm still using I use an orange OR50, just like Chris uses. That's pretty much the Thrum sound. That's how we wanted a sound that we could just be very signature, and the orange OR50 seems to be right in the wheelhouse for that.
Yeah.
I kind of have I've found out that I'm not really more into those high gain amps. Like I used to have a 5150. I think you remember that, Rick. It's just
Oh yeah.
It's a great amp. I'm not trying to knock it. The thing is, I think I like the sound of a amp, like a moderate gain amp, I guess is the best way to say it.
Right.
That's being pushed heavily, like with an overdrive.
Yeah.
And I use some really gnarly overdrives. One appropriately called the Witch Burner.
Right.
It was used on the record. In fact, if you listen to the opening track, Overdrive, that's the Witch Burner going into the OR50 through an Emperor cabinet with Weber Gray Wolf and a Weber Silver Wolf.
Speakers.
Yeah.
What are those similar to, like the vintage 30s, or tell me about the profile of those?
Range based, I would say. Just got a lot more mid-range growl to them. We're vocal sounding instead of a vintage 30. Vintage 30's got a lot of high piercing shrills to it in comparison, but it's just all mids and it's got a lot of chunk.
Yeah.
And we like to have a lot of chugs in this band on the way we our riffs, and every song, if you listen, has some kind of chugging style riff.
Right.
But and a mids, and a lot of bands that I grew up listening to like scoop their mids out. I don't like that. I like it with like kind of like how Mastodon, bands like that, kind of decrease the mids, you know.
Yeah.
In your face, you know, because you want to hear that note definition. And the Emperor cabinets, they're custom built cabinets, I believe, out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of them now, and I just love the tone they give. They're really loud, and we used them on the recording, like I say. And you should give it a listen if you haven't already. You can hear what they sound like on that opening track for Overdrive.
Yeah. Well, and then you're using you said multiple distortion pedals, which peaked my...
Not like stacked or anything. I kind of tinker between two. I'll show you. Like, this is the witch burner right here.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like a tube screamer on steroids. It's got a lot of... It's like probably a tube screamer tripled. It's just real gnarly sounding. And then my other favorite I like is this Ibanez. It's a tube screamer, but it's modified Fortin.
Yep, it's old school there, isn't it?
No, it's got a mod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fortin makes a lot of great stuff. I've got a Fortin Fuzz. I've used a Fortin Zool, which the same thing Chris uses. He makes great stuff. It's very modern sounding, but you can still use it and make it sound vintage.
Yeah.
That's the sound we're going to. But I like I say, I like it real gnarly sounding because we kind of make these real sludgy riffs, and that's how we get our tone. As it comes for like another thing is the Tentacle. What the Tentacle does is basically adds like an octave up and gives that sound kind of like if you've ever heard of bands like Monolord or Electric Wizard. If you haven't listened, give them a chance. They actually sound pretty awesome with their tones. That's where they got that sound. It kind of sounds like the Boss. You remember that fuzz pedal they made, like an FM2 or something like that?
Was it the black one?
It was a Boss pedal. Chris, not here. You know that fuzz pedal I'm talking about?
Yeah, but yeah, Behringer makes a knockoff of it too. But
just more of a fuzz than an overdrive.
It's a fuzz.
It's kind of like that old Boss heavy metal pedal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like total
black
trash.
And black with orange writing.
Yeah, and that's you get that kind of high octave sound out of it.
That was everybody's go-to back in the 90s,
pumpkin.
wasn't it? Early 90s.
Yeah. And so do you guys? Does anybody in this band use a delay pedal?
I ventured to. My favorite delay pedal is the MXR Carbon Copy.
Okay, yeah.
I like it because you can put it in front of an amp instead of effects loop. I'm not an effects loops guy.
Right.
I like hitting the amp with everything in front. I'm also a minimalist when it comes to pedals. I don't use a lot. I use a couple, like a phaser and a chorus.
Yeah.
But with that delay pedal, it seems to not, especially when you put it in front of a distortion channel, it doesn't seem to lose its sound. Like, you know, it gets. Have you ever done that where you put just distortion pedal and it gets a weird sound to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Or, you know, we talked about this on another podcast about using with Animals on the Roof, about using delay pedals on a channel switching amp. It sounds great when you set it up on the clean channel. When you go to the overdrive, it's like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
If you try to amplify and modulate a pedal, apparently this pedal reacts a bit better. But it's really interesting. I've talked to, I go guitar nerd when having these discussions, and each guy has a different idea or feel, or it just approach.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's a different approach to how it is that they get their happy tone, or a happy effect. And I think that's almost one of the, learning to play guitar is really cool, and learning to play a Dorian scale and a pentatonic scale, and all that's really cool. But then you have to learn the wizardry of effects, and what's not good, what is good, and you could go down a rabbit hole in this whole world of effects that we're talking about right now, and get lost in it for years, and then finally go, I overthought that, and I lost 5 years of my life, But so you've got your distortions. How do you end your chain? What's at the end?
At the end of it is a Zool noise gate from Fortin. That's the pedal I use on it. I put my modulations right before that, which is basically a phase 90 and MXR analog chorus.
Yeah, yellow pedal. Is that one yellow?
The blue one.
Okay.
It's basically a micro-sized version of that one.
Okay.
And the other, I use the Fortin Fuzz sometimes, and I use this other pedal by Black Arts Toneworks, the same people that make the Witch Burner, called the Crown of Horns. It's a fuzz pedal that's just a monstrosity the way it sounds.
Right.
It's control on it, so I can dial in the mids. That's what I'm drawn to on that pedal. I just love mids.
Yeah. Hey, you have to have one guitar player that's playing in one area. We did talk about this as well. It's about sitting in frequencies. Who's where?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so, Sean, what about you? You've got a pedal in front of you? I know you do.
What do you use vocally?
Or are you is your voice just seriously that strong?
Well, for practice,
I've heard you live. Excuse me, I've heard you live, and I've heard you recorded, and you're one of the best singers around here that I know.
Wow, thank you.
No, I'm not just kissing your ass. I'm just what are you using? Are you using anything that you hit anything to get some extra length like other singers around town?
Honestly, for the live shows, I haven't used my pedal yet at all.
Yeah,
I've got the first gen Voice Live.
What
is it? Why is my
Helicon
voice? Yeah, Helicon. TC Helicon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that. And I'm again very conservative as far as just giving it enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Just giving it enough when I do that. After the EP was done, I just kind of sat down and copied what they came up with, and Leadbelly.
Oh yeah, okay. Matt did yours.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can't. Brain's not working tonight. But yeah, what Matt came up with, and I just basically asked Matt. I was like, "Look, Matt, I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other on what this sounds like. I'm going to back up and let the artist do his work." And that's what he did. And then I just sat down and listened to what he had on there, and then I kind of just dialed in what I could dial in.
Right.
And that's what I've been using for effects.
Good.
And
keep it simple, stupid theory, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And let's plug him real quick.
Yeah,
Matt Washburn from Leadbelly Studios is a great guy. He did the Say Never record too.
Yeah, he sounds like an engineer, but also a producer.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
What you got there? What is that?
Oh, my cigar box guitar.
Yeah, nice.
You and that damn guitar, Sean.
You got 3 strings on. It's open tune 3 strings.
Yep.
Boy, with a humbucker.
Yeah,
as it should be. If you don't play that with these boys, we're missing out for sure. And it's a Java box. I love Java cigars.
That's great.
Well, guys, let's preview. The Neon Dead.
Fire it up.
Neon Dead. And before we get into it, is there anything that you want to prompt about what was magical about this track besides the opening scream?
That we kept. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And everybody was like, no, you got to do the scream.
Yeah.
And I was like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
And now you have to every time.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
And this song just came together. Again, it was something I wrote in my notebook a couple of years back. And the song is just basically about going out to the clubs at night, having a great time with your friends, and not wanting to go home when the dawn comes, so to speak. You want to go and do a little something else,
Yeah.
Shallow as hell as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're basically, when you hit the street after that, you are out there walking under the neon signs with the neon dead.
Yeah.
You're lumbering like a zombie.
I like it.
On.
All right, well, here we go. Neon Dead from the band Thrum.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me go first.
You got it.
I got 3 things to say.
Oh my God.
The first one is holy shit.
Yeah.
The second one is it makes me miss.
You're
The
breaking
Bishop-
up a little bit.
Yeah, I think you guys got us still on the feed.
Yeah, we got you going here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
There
Go
you
ahead.
go.
Good,
Can
man.
you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I have 3 things. Holy smokes.
You can say shit. That
Okay,
was
holy
holy
shit.
shit. That was holy shit.
My second one is it makes me miss the Bishop Lake days because it just I had that feel. I was like, God, man, that's just balls and chunk.
Oh my God.
Third thing is Sean.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, you'd give Todd LaTorre a run for his money.
Yeah, that had that feel for sure.
Oh, I love Todd.
Yeah, that's
I love Todd too, and I know him. Yeah, I mean, the dude,
man.
that's hardcore vocals.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a crazy day recording that, and I got in there, and they know.
Yeah.
These guys know I did not have that ending written. That was
Yeah.
not how we practiced
You
it
did
at all.
3 tries, man,
Yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
and everyone was amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
And so that was what came out.
well, Ray just he looked at me mid song and said, Queensryche? And I went, no. And he said vocally. And I was like,
vocally,
oh,
yeah,
okay, let me
that's-
think for a second. And then the more I was listening to it, I was like,
That's
yeah,
the Queensryche
he's
I
exactly
knew.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I
Well, it's
listened
not
to
it's
old stuff, right?
Yeah, Jeff Tate, it's Jeff Tate and Todd LaTorre kind of mixed together.
Oh my God.
It's balls out there.
I'm gonna go next.
Go.
Thanks.
All right, I gotta go next. There were some color notes in that. There were some color notes like the second time around in the riff. That then I heard the vocalist hit with that, and it was really cool to hear, some melody in the riff that forced the singer to have to go there, and it made the I guess those were the verses, right, guys?
Well, I mean, is that what I'm talking about when I say it's not so doom and gloom? It's actually
No, it's not
musical.
doom and gloom at all, dude.
That's a balls out rock song.
Yeah,
I mean it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Tell me about the color notes that you guys were hitting in I believe the verses. Guitar players, you guys were doing it.
Those were just some simple power chords is all that was, with just a lot of chunk. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of like theory or anything like that. Actually that riff came up one day. I was just messing around on my guitar, and I was showing it to Chris, and he's like, that sounds cool, man. And we just kept adding on to it, like the little breakdowns you hear and everything.
Yeah.
But it's really simple. I can actually, if y'all want me to, I can possibly play it for you.
Well, David, no, you have to. What you're supposed to say here, you're supposed to say, "Man, yeah, it was really complex."
Yeah.
And it might be over you guys' head to even. Yeah,
Dude, Glenn, you and Troy are locked in like nobody's business.
Yeah. So the halftime part. So after the verses, it went to like a pre-chorus, maybe that went to halftime, or what was the halftime part there? Because that
I don't know. The drums never went halftime.
it felt like it floated.
The ride didn't anyway. I don't think
it floated like.
I'd have to listen to it again. I was like listening to too many things at once.
Yeah, that was fun, guys. Like that was a lot.
That's a great freaking song. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It was all the right
I
elements
can't
coming
wait to hear
together.
the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, should we listen to Overdrive?
What the hell?
I mean, we've never listened to 2 songs.
Uh-oh.
Should we go there?
It's we got short time, but let's do it.
Oh, we do have short time, but
Yeah. I want to hear more. I want to hear more.
we're gonna listen to more.
I do.
You can just give them a taste of the opening riff there.
Okay. We'll
Just
do
give them a
that.
taste. Give them a little taste. Give the people what they want.
Just the tip.
Just
Come
a
on.
tip.
Tip. So while I'm looking for the tip here, can who took that first short solo? Somebody talk about that first. There was a short solo. Then Chris.
Short solos are my forte.
Okay. Yeah.
I like just to do little melodic
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get I don't know, I've never been I like to do a long solo type of guy, which is great.
Me neither.
Dave,
I don't.
Dave is the perfect counterpart for me for that because he likes to do the whittly stuff like you were saying. And then I could just go in there and do. I'm feeling a melodic part here, and I just do my little short. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, it's nice that you guys are in that situation because being in the band with David Prince at one other time in my life, which was awesome. I know there was not a lot of room allotted for him to fly.
You have to find out how two guitar players can work.
And you all know what I'm saying, Glenn and David. But
you have to find
and
out.
I'm glad that it's the way it is. Yeah.
You have to figure out how these two maniacs can actually converse together and make music. I mean, that's an important thing, that we're actually all here to make music. So it's hard, dude. I mean, to find the right guitar player to be your your beta to my gamma,
and no egos.
Right.
That's
Chris.
That's really
Chris
what I was talking about.
Chris is going to be my Neil Sean. He's going to come in and play the melody line.
Big one. Yeah.
And then David is my Alex Lifeson.
Yeah.
He's going to paint. He's going to paint. He's very painterly.
Yeah.
He's going to dip and dap, and he's going to put some stuff in there that you're like, what?
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to go.
Well, that's what I was saying a second ago about there were some color notes that were added, and I don't know who was doing them, but there were some notes there that forced the vocal melody to go there, and that's again what music is about. Somebody in the Hollywood Squares box number 3, I believe, in the lower corner, might have hit a note that somebody in Hollywood Squares box number 2 in the lower corner had to go there.
Right.
And that's how you write and create music.
I was playing jazz.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and I think we're in a very unique situation because Chris and Dave were playing together for about a year and a half before THRUMM, before they even talked to Sean. And then they were together for probably 2 or 3 months before they even talked to me.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Right.
So
we didn't.
There's
go
been
there.
this whole thing's been in the mix for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I mean,
it worked out.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
To be honest, I mean, guys, COVID was horrible. Is horrible.
Right.
It's is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's not use the C word. I don't want to bump this video out of the algorithm.
Yeah.
From YouTube.
Oh yeah.
That's why I just say the thing that happened in 2020.
Good point.
Sorry.
I like to use the C word for this because it became a era and period of creativity, especially for me. That if I didn't have creativity, I would have gone crazy, and I would have killed people. That's the C word, because I was losing my mind, not being able to create with my buddies and my bandmates and stuff. So it was a very tough time for artists and crowds. Another C word.
Yeah.
And venues folded. People lost their livelihood. It was horrible. But
it was rough.
to see something positive come out of this with you guys, it's
touring sucked.
Yeah, touring sucked. Well, there was no touring.
I toured.
I mean,
I was in Sturgis mid-COVID and had to wear a mask so TMZ wouldn't catch any of us. So,
well, if you didn't have your another C word credentials, you weren't going to be doing any of that. And it was just insane. But I got to hear some Overdrive.
Play it, bro.
And let's see what else you guys got. Here we go.
is good
Yeah,
shit.
that is really good. Hey guys, like that part right there, it had a the rooster.
It
I
did.
am gonna die.
That was it. That's it. Yeah, I heard the same thing.
I felt the angst of the Vietnam War in that.
If Troy ever gets sick and just needs a fill in, I'm just saying, I'm your boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn, that was good. You guys are so good.
Yeah, it sounds really good, guys.
Thank you.
And I got to give hats off to Matt. Did he do all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, boy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
He
If anybody in Atlanta or anywhere near close to be able to go to Washburn to Lead Belly, you need to go.
Absolutely, 100%.
He is amazing. It's like, dude, just make me sound good, and he'll like hit a button, and my bass makes the bass sound amazing, and it's just like, Jesus, what did you do? And
he's a smart ass. He's fun to hang out with, and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he gets it.
You need an engineer that is a locker room guy and will pick on you like the rest of the guys in a band.
That's how he is. It'll give you exactly what you want too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, so there's been a lot of people that have been reaching out to get on the show, and I ask them to send me some, an MP3 of their material, and I have to keep saying it. If you're watching these shows, this is top-notch recorded, produced material,
100%,
with pro guys doing pro stuff that just don't have a pro record deal to make them broke and slaves to the lender. They're doing it
exactly.
They're independent artists putting their money where their mouth is to record their artwork. And
this is the first step.
Well said.
This is the first step of this, because we're going to take this further to we're going to actually start doing shows with all of the bands that we're doing podcasts with. We're picking venues that are actually theaters, or whether they be a Mad Life type situation or a actual theater. Yeah. And we're going to do shows together and try to, it's not even about a money thing. It's just about getting our original music out so people can hear it, because where is there to play?
Right. Well, pro bands need to be able to be on a pro stage and be able to present in a pro way. Right. And so
this is going to happen. This is just the beginning of it. This is the beginning.
Wow, that's awesome.
The beginning of this project right now. And you guys are a part of it, and you are 100% in, because you guys are smoking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, I mean, keep us in the loop with what you guys have coming up. I would love to see this live. If it sounds,
me too.
If it sounds anything like the record, then
I'm sure it does.
I would totally
know all
enjoy
these guys. It does.
If you're out in the Carrollton area, you can see Thrum
and
Ember Dayglow Morning at the Alley Cat in Carrollton. That is March 31st. Come on out and check it out.
March 31st. What time?
You're a DJ part-time, aren't you?
On it.
Full time.
What was the time, guys?
10 p.m. is what I've been told.
Okay. And how many bands are on that bill?
That's going to be 3.
Okay. So let's talk about that. We have a few minutes. Kind of. Well, not really.
We've got a couple minutes.
Text Brian. We're running behind. Let's talk about that. How long of a show do you guys have of all original music that you could do? I mean, 30 minutes is kind of, we're just getting warmed up, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what would be your ideal show length to present what it is that you guys do?
I think right now we're at like 45 minutes, but I mean, if we could, one more song, we could be at an hour, real quick.
Right.
That Doom stuff, man.
Yeah.
We're at another 10-minute song. We're at an hour.
It's the same with what we do. It's that progressive music. You know what I mean? We can make a 12-minute song. Of course, Ray's music songs are 12 minutes.
Well, some can be.
And we got to leave Sean some time for his antics, and
so
it was funny.
It sounds like 45 minutes is kind of a sweet spot. Anything less is, well, premature.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think somewhere between a half hour and 45 minutes is that's
well, I mean, for us right now, these are the salad days, right? We're not going to be insulted with a 30-minute set. We're going to be like, all right, yeah, we'll kill that.
Depending on
Have
how
us
many
out.
bands you have
Right.
on a bill, it depends on what we're doing.
Well, that's kind of my point. Is what is the perfect size amount of bands on a bill that doesn't kill the audience? Which I already said, I think, off the air. I think I already said this off the air, and you guys said I was old and shut up. So I'm going to bring it up again. If you have, say, 3 bands, and the first band goes on is so loud that it hurts people, and then the second band goes on and it's same volume, and then the third band goes on and people have tinnitus. Is that
we played with them last week?
Tinnitus, yeah, they're not bad. I listen to them every night.
Yeah, I have tinnitus every night too.
They put me to sleep every night.
So I think that's where I kind of come from.
I kind of lean towards the 2-band thing at a time.
Yeah, 2 bands, 60 minutes is my premiere.
That way, each band can present their entire production.
Right.
Whether they have production or not, they can still present whatever they want to present.
Don't you think that it would allow a band to take their time? Not, if you do a 30-minute set, do you guys feel like you're on a treadmill?
Throw and go.
Oh yeah. We definitely it is, because like I said, I love Sean having space to talk and interact with the crowd, because it's a better show when that happens. Because he Sean's a great front man, because he does, man. We had a drunk guy come up. We were playing, we're in our 40s, the crowd's in their 40s, and then there's this 20-year-old drunk guy coming up at the last show going, I want a mosh. And Sean gets off the stage and puts his arm around him and calms the guy down. And you can't do that in a 30-minute set.
No, right.
And
that's a good point.
Sean's a hell of a front guy, because he, like I said, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to interact with the crowd. And you get people after our last set, people are like, dude, it was like a comedy metal show, because, him and I are interacting, because we're both stage hogs. My wife's like, you're a stage whore, because it's the first time she's seen me play since Bishop Lake.
Yeah. You're a fun bass player for sure.
Yes, he is.
Thank you. So, I mean, I think, and not to toot my own, I think the two of us put on a good show. Chris and Dave do their own thing. Troy's just a hell of a drummer sitting back there.
I was going to bring that up.
Next time he's got to be on. He's got to be on.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let him know that I'm very impressed with his playing. He's a solid as hell drummer. I mean, and I give all the credit to Matt. Well, not all the credit to Troy. I mean, wait, what am I trying to say?
Whoever
the
engineered
recording
Matt.
itself, the drum sound is amazing. And he is a solid ass drummer. So you guys have a great group of guys together, and I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys are like family now.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool.
Because Glenn and I are really good friends, and David and I are really good friends, and Marissa and Mandy. I hope they're all doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. Again, and I say this, it seems like every podcast, everybody that we talk to, whether it's from this genre or the rock genre or the R&B genre, or everybody, when we get together, it literally feels, actually, to be honest, better than my Thanksgivings.
Yeah.
With my own family. It feels like we're talking to people about the same things that they love, that I love, and I understand, and it's a level of conversation. My buddies at work are going to watch this and they're going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
string
like they
cages.
give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, how many ohms?
We're all
Hey, I did ask that. Who did I ask that? Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes to you, David.
Shut up. So
what? No, real quick, David. What are the ohm ratings on your pickups, the bridge and neck pickups on your ohms?
The ohms. I guess we're talking about the
output heat.
I use 500K pots. Is that what you're asking?
No, those are pots. That's
a stupid question.
No, that's a good point though. 500K pots on a humbucker is what you want, but the heat of the pickups that you use, I use 16.
Were they wrapped to the right and dipped twice?
Yeah, I dip mine.
Yes.
I hot wax mine.
He dips them in these nuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Right along with the G string.
Right. All right. You guys,
I think he uses the same Iommi pickups that I use, and
Okay.
I think they're 15
oh yeah, 15 would seem
kiloohms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually rail pickups. That Iommi is a rail,
nice.
but it's covered so you can't see it. But
Right.
it's a very output. To me, it's a very dark pickup, but it's got a lot of mids.
Yeah.
There's the mids again. It's got a low end bite and a lot of chunk. And the Iommi, I've got a couple guitars with them in it, and I got another Iommi pickup that I'm going to put in one guitar eventually here.
Right.
I pretty much like a kind of a middle of the road high gain or high output pickup. I also use the Seymour Duncan Custom on. I have a Paul Reed Smith guitar that has one in it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I like kind of like not too hot, not too lower end, like PA. I like a kind of a PAF tone a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you can.
Loud.
Yeah, you can go over the top, and it can be extreme, and it gets out of control. But, we can talk gear.
Does Troy use like hydraulic heads, or does he use is he Remo or is he an Evans guy?
Yeah, because that snare on the
I
second
am
song.
straight up being a smartass.
No, for real.
I know he doesn't use hydraulic because that's the crap with the oil things.
Yeah.
But
No,
they sound great.
The snare sound on the second song was a flat. It was a flat.
It's probably a single ply head.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
it was
probably a double ply head,
it
actually.
was a flat sounding different sound.
Matt's really good at mixing snare. Like, he can take a Black Beauty sound and mix it with
Right, sample.
another snare sound
Yeah,
and put them
trigger.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a drummer by trade, so he
Yeah.
knows all that stuff.
There you
Actually, I
go.
know that you're right. He's got
Yeah.
drums at his place that,
Yeah.
I think I played his kit when we recorded the Say Never record.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my cymbals, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a thing of beauty.
Yes.
I tell you. It was just to watch him work, how he was setting everything up,
Yeah.
listening to the sound that he was getting, in the control room.
Yeah.
You could tell. Yeah.
And the guys that know that, getting a genre guy that knows that how to mix that style versus how to mix a pop song.
Right.
Those are typically two different dudes, and it pays to get the right guy.
Have you ever heard this where like the best sound guy is actually a drummer?
Yeah, because drummers are actually the best cooks.
No,
bus
this is true.
drivers.
I'm not joking. That's
laundry
like,
guys. The
drummers make the best sound guys. I mean, I've
they
heard
can't
that.
hear.
Maybe
What are you
that's why.
talking
I don't
about?
know. I'm just
You know how a drummer,
Hey,
you can
listen.
tell a drummer's knocking on your door, right?
he knocks off time and never knows when to come in.
It gets faster.
It gets faster. It's in 7/8.
That's a good drummer knocking on your door.
Yeah. Well, guys, man, we appreciate you coming on. Really had a good time
man.
talking to you guys.
I
Sean,
was looking forward to this one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sean, pitch the Alley Cat gig one more time in your best radio voice. Ready, go.
All right. That's going to be at the Alley Cat in Carrollton, Georgia. That's going to be Ember, Thrum, and Dayglow Morning.
It's starting
10
at
p.m. Come on out. Catch it.
Yes, 10 p.m. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you, and we'll have you guys on again because it was just fun talking to you. And
Yeah.
and I really apologize, Glenn, to not talk about your amazing Star Wars memorabilia collection.
Hey, does Matt still have his stormtrooper going like this in the studio?
Yes, he does.
Of course he does. And Bob Marley.
There's always next time, man. There's always next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
All right.
hey, Chris, it was nice meeting you. Sean,
Nice talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Sean, good seeing you.
man.
David and Glenn, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you too, man.
All right, boys. Have a good one. We'll see you at the Alley Cat.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Peace out.
See you, fellas.
Later.
See ya.
You're watching the Original Music Atlanta podcast.